Match day in the English Premier League. Massive clash and lots of talking point. Chelsea versus Liverpool in Stamford Bridge. Two English giants with both teams chasing for a win after a couple of losses in their previous games, and both teams having a lot to prove in this particular game. In this video, we'll preview the key battle of this particular game, recent form, my combined 11 between Chelsea versus Liverpool, and my predicted 11 as Chelsea hosts Liverpool in Stamford Bridge. When these two teams go head-to-head, a lot is always expected because it's a battle between the two giants of English football. So stick around as I take you through this preview and stay till the end for my score prediction in this particular game. Now, looking at the game, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea going into this one currently sits 8th on the EPL table, and Liverpool, the defending champion, currently sits on top of the league, having played 6 games, won 5 and lost 1. Their loss come recently in their last week clash against Crystal Palace, who have been in red hot form. While Chelsea going into this game, their recent form in the Premier League has not been something to talk about, as Chelsea have scored 11 goals and conceded 8, while Liverpool have scored 12 goals and conceded 7. Now, looking at the game, Chelsea started the season very well. The first 3 games in the Premier League saw Chelsea scored 7 goals, conceded just 1. And the remaining 3 games have seen Chelsea played a 2-2 draw against Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium, lost 2-1 at Old Trafford to Manchester United, and also lost 3-1 last weekend to Brighton and Hove Albion in Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are seeking for a win after 3 games in the Premier League without a win, while Liverpool going into this one will be looking to bounce back from their loss to Crystal Palace last weekend. But in midweek, both clubs were engaged in Champions League football as Chelsea hosted Jose Mourinho Benfica, and Chelsea get a 1-0 victory in that particular encounter, while Liverpool traveled over to Turkey in Istanbul to take on Galatasaray, and they lost that particular clash. And that means Liverpool in their last 2 games have no win after they have actually lost both games, while Chelsea in their last 4 games they have not gotten a win. They played 2-2 draw with Brentford, went to Old Trafford, they lost 2-1, lost to Bayern Munich 3-1, and also lost to Brighton. So haven't gotten their first win after 4 games against Benfica in the UEFA Champions League. Chelsea will be looking to build on that confidence going into this particular encounter. A lot will be expected in this particular game because it's a crunch battle, and his Lord will be looking to come into this one fully prepared with his team to ensure Liverpool bounce back to winning ways. Now, if we look at the team news of this particular team going into this game, Enzo Maresca had his press conference yesterday, and in that press conference, the players available for Enzo Maresca to actually make a selection from just a handful of players. As he said in that press conference, about 7 or 8 players are out through injury and suspension. And as we speak, a couple of players are actually out with injury in Chelsea Football Club, as Chelsea currently is going through some crisis when it comes to injury. In the injury list, Chelsea have Cole Palmer, who has been ruled out to return after the international break. Trevor Chalobah is actually suspended for this particular game. Tosin Adarabioyo out injured. Wesley Fofana injured. Liam Delap injured. Levi Colwill injured. Dario Esugo injured. And Cole Palmer also ruled out for injury. Enzo Maresca going into this game, Enzo Maresca has been streamlined to a particular group of players whereby it would be much easier for him to make his selection. And on the side of Liverpool, no doubt currently, if we look at Liverpool Football Club, currently they are the best club in England, and they are still the defending champion going into this game. One will not take anything from them because the loss to Crystal Palace, no disrespect to Crystal Palace, but we all know that Crystal Palace under Oliver Glasner have been in a very good form. And so far, Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace have just set a new record for the club with the longest unbeaten run, 18 so far. And it's no fluke because Crystal Palace defeating Liverpool last weekend in match week 6 was never a fluke, as they did same to Liverpool in the Community Shield, coming from 2 goals down to level 2-2, went on to defeat Liverpool on penalty to actually lift that particular trophy, talking about the Community Shield. So it was not a fluke, that it was not a game that one would say Liverpool actually allowed it to slip. Rather, in that particular encounter, Crystal Palace lost a couple of chances. They would have buried Liverpool long in that particular game. So, going into this particular one, Liverpool, on the other hand, if we look at their team sheet in the midweek when they take on Galatasaray in the Champions League, Ekitike has not been fit for that particular game, and also Federico Chiesa has been out injured. And I think, because I can't really place what the situation is now, but going into this game, Ekitike and Federico Chiesa have been are doubtful going into this game. So they might be available, they might not be available. And also one man that is out who have actually been key to Liverpool's success is none other than Alisson Becker, talking about their goalkeeper. And Alisson Becker will not be available in today's clash between Chelsea versus Liverpool in Stamford Bridge. And I think all they have is Gioji, who came in as a substitute in that particular game in the midweek in UEFA Champions League for Liverpool to finish the rest of the game. So this will be my combined 11. I haven't looked at what Liverpool have available and what Chelsea have available. This will be my combined 11 between Chelsea versus Liverpool in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Looking at the availability, why I actually went for this selection. Looking at the availability, Alisson is out injured, so the goalkeeper available are Gioji and Robert Sanchez. And I think so far, in as much as a couple of mistakes have been coming up through Robert Sanchez, one being against Manchester United, that red card. But take nothing away from Robert Sanchez, he's a more better goalkeeper than Gioji that came in as a sub for Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League. So in goal, I decided to go with Robert Sanchez. The fullback, I went with Reece James. Looking at Liverpool fullback, for some couple of matches, Hanni Slot have decided to play Slabozha in that particular position. And their preferred right back has always been Jeremy Frimpong. So looking at those two, whether the manager decided to go with Slabozha or Frimpong, I think Reece James is more better in that position. So the fullback, I went with Reece James and Marc Cucurella. Cucurella, of course, is a better version compared to Milos Kekes that was signed from Bournemouth. In the centre back, I think I went with the pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Konate going into this one, as Trevor Chalobah has been injured. Liverpool defense line has not been that excellent so far this season, in as much as they are the defending champion. And why I said that, if you look at their performance so far this season, Liverpool have scored 12 goals, but they have conceded 7. That means there is still questions in the defense line in that particular game. Virgil van Dijk and Konate have not actually been getting it right. But going into this game, Chelsea defense line, all we have available is Badiashile and George Achampong, and also possibly Jorel Ato, who can also play as the left centre back. But in that position, Virgil van Dijk is much preferable, as currently he's one of the best defenders in the English Premier League. And since Trevor Chalobah is also missing on suspension via red card, he actually got in the Brighton game, I think I will still go with the Liverpool pairing, talking about Virgil van Dijk and Konate. Now, in the midfield, because I went with 4-2-3 formation, I think the pairing there actually select is Ryan Gravenberch and Moses Caicedo would be my preferred defensive midfielders. And the attacking through, talking about the 3 attacking creative player, the left wing, I went with Pedro Neto. I think that space is available between Pedro Neto and Gakpo. And so far in this season, the statistics speak for itself. Pedro Neto have been excellent so far this season, I think, and is much preferable, in my opinion, to Gakpo. The creative midfield, so I'll go with, I still go with the Chelsea man, talking about Enzo Fernandez, who have actually been having some kind of mixed feeling with Chelsea. But so far this season, the statistics also speak for himself. A couple of goals and assists he have actually gotten to his credit. I think report have it that so far from last season till date, only one player have had goal and assist combined together than Enzo Fernandez, and that is talking about Mo Salah. So I think in that position, I preferred Enzo Fernandez ahead of Florian Wirtz, the 125 million euro attacking midfielder that was brought in by Liverpool. So Enzo Fernandez is preferred. And in the right wing, of course, not debatable, Mo Salah have the nod. And up front, in as much as Alexander Isak have not actually gotten it good with Liverpool, one can't take away the fact of his pedigree when it comes to the Premier League. We saw what he did with Liverpool, with Newcastle United, and currently is with Liverpool. He has not actually found his footing with Liverpool, but between Alexander Isak and Joao Pedro, I think Alexander Isak definitely get that nod. So who will make your predicted combined Chelsea versus Liverpool 11? You can drop your thoughts down below. Let me know. Who will you change and who will you not? Who will you change to bring in and who will you not bring in? So let's have the conversation going in the comment section. So that would be my Chelsea versus Liverpool combined 11. So now quickly, let's take a look at my predicted 11 as a Chelsea fan going into this game. What is available for Enzo Maresca to actually look upon and actually make his selection? So far, going into this game, Chelsea have been rocked with lots of injury worries, most especially in the defense line. Currently, the players available for Chelsea as central defender, as centre backs, are just Jorel Ato, who played as a left centre back, who can also play as a left centre back, even though he's a left back. Benoit Badiashile and George Atrempong. Other centre backs Chelsea have in the squad, talking about Tosin Adarabioyo is out with injury, Wesley Fofana injured, and Trevor Chalobah has been suspended for this game. So my predicted 11 for Chelsea versus Liverpool actually picked itself. So this will be my predicted 11 going into this game. Fullback will be Reece James and Mark Cucurella. The centre back will be George Atrempong and Benoit Badiashile. The middle of the pack, I will go with Moses Caicedo and Romeo Lavia, whom Enzo Maresca have actually said will be available for selection. Because as we speak, also in that position, Andre Santos would have been preferred, but Santos also is not available as he has been ruled out with an injury. So the two defensive midfielder, I will go with Moses Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. Not to take anything from Romeo Lavia, an excellent footballer if it is well fit. And just like the manager said, he has actually found himself in the situation of Reece James and Wesley Fofana. So the manager is trying to see how he will manage Romeo Lavia. Excellent midfielder when it's on the ball. You can be rest assured that Romeo Lavia will definitely give you that which you want in the midfield. His combination with Moses Caicedo will be top notch. Now, the three attacking midfielder, the left wing, I will go with Pedro Neto. The central attacking midfielder will be Enzo Fernandez, as also Cole Palmer is out with injury. And the right wing, I will go with Gustavo William. Up front will be Joao Pedro. So, look, this is why I actually make this selection. It actually picked itself because we don't have option. If Chelsea want to make, if Enzo Maresca might want to make any changes in the defense line, the only player left available is Jorel Ato, who can actually play as the left centre back. But Badiashile, who just came back from injury, had a decent game against Benfica, and his combination with Trevor Chalobah in that Champions League game was top notch. And I think the more reason I retained Badiashile to actually get that spot. And George Atrempong also, even though he has not been getting much of that game time needed, our opening game in the Premier League this season against Crystal Palace, George Atrempong was given that opportunity to play at the heart of Chelsea defense, and excellently, no mistake was spot on from the young lad. And I think with more game time, Chelsea will be able to build George Atrempong, even though he's a right back in that particular position. Because currently, Chelsea have available players in the right back position, talking about Reece James and Malo Gusto. So in this particular game, Malo Gusto nowhere, because Malo Gusto has not actually been himself so far this season. He has been on and off. So up front, Joao Pedro, we all know it actually picked itself, and I think it's definitely good to actually get Joao Pedro start up front in this particular game, because in our next Champions League game, Joao Pedro will not be available. Now, going into this clash, because it's going to be a very key battle, what I see going into this game will be a midfield battle, and whoever is able to conquer the midfield definitely will have the edge in this particular game. Don't take away anything from Ryan Gravenberch and Mark Lister midfield pairing or Zabuza. If the manager decided to go in his usual 4-3-3 formation, definitely it's going to be Zabuza, Mark Lister, and Ryan Gravenberch in the Liverpool center. That's talking about the three midfielders. And I think Chelsea also have the strength in that midfield to be able to withstand the attacking, to be able to withstand that midfield battle against Liverpool. And going into this game, I don't expect Chelsea to actually play that high front football, because it's Liverpool we are talking about here. The pace of Mo Salah and also Cody Gakpo might just be one thing that will count for them from the wing. And likewise, I see similar kind of game going into this particular encounter, and that is why I say I expect our midfield to actually come to the occasion and do the needful. Talking about Romeo Lavia and Moses Caicedo alongside with Enzo Fernandez. And also Chelsea should be ready to capitalize with the pace and energy of Pedro Neto and the scintillating movement of Gustavo William. The same thing Liverpool will want to count on, but I think this game will definitely be won from the flank. I mean, talking about the flank, from the wing. And I see going into this, where Chelsea might just have that little weakness in this particular game is our centre-back, like I said earlier. And that is where Chelsea's weakness going into this game is. Else, if we have gotten Trevor Chalobah available, and we have Trevor Chalobah and Benoit Badiashile, I think I might be rooting for something else different. But going into this one, I'm very skeptical as a Chelsea fan. I just have to be real here. So that is the match preview between between Chelsea versus Liverpool. Now, the score prediction. I just have to be real, and let me just be real with myself. I had a watch along with one of my good friends, a Manchester United fan, last night, and we actually preview all the EPL matches. You can check that in my previous video to see the preview and predictions of other games, which we actually did. But looking at Chelsea versus Liverpool, in that encounter, I actually predicted Liverpool to win. Why I did that is because so far, don't take anything, no disrespect, they are the defending champion. They still have everything available. Who knows whether it is in this particular game that Alexander Isak might actually find his scoring boot to pick up from there in the Premier League. But I hope to see that Chelsea defense, despite having Badiashile and George Achampong, I hope to see Chelsea defense come alive in order not to concede much of goal. But then, we are talking of Liverpool attack here, one of the best attack going into this game. They have Alexander Isak, Mo Salah, and Cody Gakpo. And also, if Hugo Ekitike is actually fit for this particular game, one man who actually came from the Bundesliga and have hit the ground of the EPL running and have scored a couple of goals. His positioning, his run is top notch. And not to take anything away, like I said earlier, Alexander Isak is one man that has a proven record in the Premier League. So we cannot take away that from Liverpool. Definitely, they are going to score. Will Chelsea also score in this particular game? Yes, because we have the attacking front going into this game. But then, if our defenders will not disappoint us, I would have loved to see Chelsea take all 3 points to actually keep our season on track. But my prediction in this particular game, I think Liverpool will definitely carry the day. Liverpool will take all 3 points. Liverpool will defeat Chelsea 3-1. In as much as it pains my heart saying this, I just have to be real. I'm a Chelsea fan. It flows in my blood. I just have to be real. I see Liverpool taking all 3 points. But then, if Chelsea went on to win this particular game, that will be phenomenal. It will be phenomenal. I will be very happy. I'm telling you the truth. But let's see how this will play out. So, what will be your predicted Chelsea 11? Drop it in the comment below. And what will be your predictions going into this game? Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video. Bye.